Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Jewish Stripper with Alla Kaplan, the podcast. I hope you can hear me. Um, let's check the microphone. Hopefully, you can hear me. And welcome back to the Jewish Stripper with Alla Kaplan, Jewish Stripper, raw and real with Alla Kaplan. Don't forget the raw and real part because there's like a million raw and real podcasts, but only one Jewish stripper, as far as I know. So anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day. I know I've been away for a couple weeks. Went out of town last weekend to just have some fun and relax. I've got my green for St. Patty's. I have my turquoise necklace as my green today. And I'm not gonna do a script or anything like that today, or even read off a article that I wrote, anything like that. What I wanted to talk about today, and I think it's important because we focused a couple episodes in previous podcasts on the men's mental health, and I think it's easier for people to think that with women, it's easy for women to ask for help when it comes to mental health. And because women are more women are more vocal when it comes to talking to their friends and probably coworkers and family members. And so people think that I think there might be this idea that it's easy for women to ask for mental health help, to go to, if you are in a depression, or if you're suffering from anxiety, or just in general, if women can feel just as overwhelmed, and it seems that people just expect women to reach out for help a lot faster than men would. Um, but the bottom line is that where would we be without women if women are the primary, for most of the households, even if someone doesn't have children, a lot of the time women are the primary caretakers, whether it be aging parents, whether it be children and family and, husbands. But in general, I think that for women, a lot of people assume, it's a big assumption, that women will just, reach out for help quicker than men would. And so I wanted to touch on the subject of women asking for help, and asking not just for help from friends or family, but there is, even in this day and age, there is a stigma about reaching out for professional help, specifically for professional help, is what I want to talk about, because there's a lot of women out there who are maybe suffering in toxic relationships. They might be self-medicating with drugs and alcohol, much like I did in my experience. And I've talked about my experience before with being in an abusive relationships, more than once, and also, self-medicating and hoping that drugs and alcohol would numb not only the pain during that relationship, but after the relationship as well. So I wanted to touch on this subject for women because there's a lot of women who still feel that, and women are more talkative. Like I said, women are more verbal. We are just programmed that way. We are programmed to talk to each other. We're programmed just that our minds go 1,000 miles per hour, and it's sometimes hard to for women to just stop for a minute and think about self-care. And yeah, we do a lot of self-care when it comes physically, with our hair and our makeup and our bodies, and going to the gym and taking care of ourselves physically to look good for our, not only for, the people with us, but for ourselves. And for also women, obviously are going to they're going to take care of themselves physically because there is competition with other women. But in general, a lot of people have a hard time reaching out and asking for help from a professional. If you need to speak to someone who is a mental health professional, whether it be about a temporary situation when maybe someone needs, for instance, medication temporarily. Maybe, you may be working out and taking care of yourself physically. And, a lot of people believe in exercise as a form to do away with depression. But what if it's not enough? What if you are in a depression or you have anxiety that can't be done away by exercising or doing, meditating or things like that? We go pretty much, women are, the thought pattern is 1,000 miles an hour. And so I wanted to bring this up because, number one, when we talked about men and women supporting men in seeking mental health advocacy and help for men's mental health, how can you help anyone if you're not helping yourself? That probably is a number one reason to take care of yourself, because when you're taking care of so many people, you may be taking care of, like I said, you may be taking care of children, you may be taking care of family members, you may be taking care of aging parents, you may be, there's a whole lot going on with family, kids, work, everything is such a busy life. And sometimes it's hard for people to stop for a minute and say, you know what, I need help. I need some kind of professional help. That I can't take care of everyone unless I take care of myself first. And so I wanted to touch on the subject because how can women support men in their mental health, in their asking for mental health help, if women are not taking care of themselves and making themselves a priority in order to be there for whoever, whether it be a brother, father, uncle, whoever, family member, or husband, or significant other. Um, it can be, females, whatever type of relationship it is. It's very difficult for someone to help anyone else if they're not there taking care of themselves. And so I wanted to talk about this because if someone's out there and they're listening and you need to talk to someone professional, then it's very, sometimes there is still, like I said, there is a stigma of people going to mental health professionals. I've, had it come up with, uh, personally, where I didn't think that I needed help, where I wasn't crazy. The first thing that comes to mind when someone suggests that you go to therapy or you get on a medication, whether it's permanent or it's temporary, when people are, you start thinking that you're not, well, I'm not crazy and I don't need that kind of help. I'm fine just the way I am. Fine. I'm fine. It's just a matter of maybe I need to do more. Maybe I need to work out more. Maybe I need to get outside more. Maybe I need to get more hobbies. Maybe I need to keep busy, keep as busy as I am. Maybe I need to keep even more busier. So a lot of the time, that feeling that, well, if I ask for help professionally, I'm people are going to judge me. That's the bottom line, is that we are as human beings are afraid of being judged. And even women in this day and age, with all the talk shows and everything that you think is now out in the open, the fact is that it's still a big stigma for anyone, whether it be male, female, or anyone in between, whether the person is, transgender or whatever, LBQT, the whole community. People asking for professional help is a huge stigma where we're afraid of being judged sometimes by our friends and sometimes by family members who, are old school or, from the old country, who don't believe in psychiatric help, who don't believe in medications. So, some people would rather, let's just say, maybe go and, like I said, self-medicate, or, a lot of people swear by marijuana, and they would rather smoke marijuana every day than go and take a pill for, and yet still, those people, even those people who swear by a, some kind of um, natural remedy for the problem, a lot of the time, if that's still not helping, if it's still something that you can't face alone, or there's only so much support that a partner can give. There's only so much support that a family member can give. There's only so much that a human being in general can withstand on their own. And so I wanted to touch on that, because sometimes you just need to check in, and someone, when you seem okay, and you're taking care of everything, and you're taking care of yourself, and you're doing your best, you're getting out of bed every day, and you're, either you're going to work or you're working, and you're taking care of your family, and at the same time, there are times when no one's checking in with you, saying, "Hey, are you okay? Are you overwhelmed?" And people have a hard time just admitting that they're overwhelmed. It's really a huge deal. It is a huge deal for someone to come in and just, stop by, to even to text a friend and to say to their friend, "Hey, how are you doing?" Because that could, some people don't necessarily want to ask you how you're doing, because you might open a whole can of worms. And sometimes you might, it's not that it's negative, but you may be using, your friends and family as therapists, where you need someone that will just listen. And a lot of the time, in my experience, and yes, I will admit, I'm in therapy for a long time, for many, many years, because there's things that I can't talk to my family about. There's things that I can't talk to my friends about. There's things that I don't want to overwhelm them with. There's things that I need someone to 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 just hear me out and let me talk, whether it's for 5 minutes straight or 10 minutes straight. But a lot of the things that happen also is with friends and family, um, or even coworkers, is that we don't want to bother someone. We feel like we're bothering someone. And so this is where professional help comes in. This is where you can go and you can talk to someone, and they're paid to listen to you. Yes, they get paid to listen to you. And it might sound silly to some people, but you're opening up to someone, and you're making a space. You have making a safe space for yourself, where there's no judgment, and the person is just going to let you, and you may get some great suggestions about how to cope with life, and how to cope with being overwhelmed, and how to cope with a lot of the things that are happening around you in your day-to-day life. That if especially when you feel like there's a situation that's out of control, and there's no one, you don't feel safe talking to a family member. You don't feel safe telling a friend or a relative or a coworker things that are going on with you. There may be something that is just you don't want to share with anyone else. And so in the end, like I was saying, how can you help anyone? You can't take care of the kids, you can't take care of the dog, you can't take care of your parents, you can't take care of helping your good friends. A lot of the time we don't really want feedback. We sometimes you just need that someone to listen to you for that 10, 15, 20 minutes, and let you just, a lot of the time when you do the self therapy, what I found for me personally is that I may come up with the solution to the problem before, when I'm in the therapy, when I'm talking, and I realize what the solution is without anyone having to tell me. And it really helps me personally. I'm not sitting here, saying that everyone, the whole world should be in therapy, but the bottom line is that I felt helpless when I was in relationships, or even with my family. I felt helpless with a situation, and I didn't know how to respond to something, and I needed that professional guidance to help me. And I also, like I said, I realized that very often, most of the time, I already know the solution to a problem, but sometimes sharing the problem is half the battle. And so I'm not sitting here, preaching or encouraging people to go to a therapist or to get on medication. But what I am suggesting and saying from my own personal experience is that very often I can't help anyone until I help myself. I have to be sometimes my my own rock. I can't expect other people to be a rock for me. I can't. I feel like I'm burdened. I don't want to be a burden on someone, and that's when, me personally, I have no problem admitting that I have, psychiatric needs, and I take medications for them, and they keep me in check. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't take these medications, but these are specific things that relate only to me. But there is some stigma with even with women, um, asking, reaching out for help, even if it's temporarily, a temporary solution medically. And so I just wanted to reach out to someone that if they're listening today, and there's a lot of out there, there's like I said, there's a huge stigma with people in general, not just men, not just women, and children as well. This includes children, because sometimes you can't, the parents are lost and don't know what to do for their children as well. And a lot of people, would say, I don't want my child in therapy. Well, that means that, my kid is crazy. But for women specifically, because they are the primary, we have an instinct to take care of everyone. And we have an instinct to take care of everyone first before we can help anyone else. And so, in order to be supportive for other people, we have to be supportive of ourselves, number one. And so I wanted to, there's probably someone out there right now who may be in a toxic relationship, and, they may have post-traumatic stress disorder, or they were in a toxic relationship and they're in a depression and they don't know what to do. Or, there, like I said, there might be people out there caring for aging parents, or they may be caring for everyone. They may be caring for their grandchildren and their children and aging parents and husbands and, significant others. And it's a lot. It's a lot for one person to deal with. And so I just wanted to say that you're not a weak person and you're not a crazy person for asking for professional help. And this probably, next week, I'm going to be doing maybe a collaboration with, again, the nice lady I have done a collaboration with before from Nigeria, Favor, who has her brand Foss Culture. So we may be doing another section about women supporting men as far as getting help with mental health issues. And the reason, so I wanted to kind of segue into that next episode, because how can women help anyone if they don't help themselves first? So I wanted to put that out there for everybody to think about. And I want to tell you, everyone, so much thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you haven't, it's Alla Kaplan 3270 on YouTube. And I want to thank everyone for subscribing, for just liking or commenting. And I open the conversation if you want to direct DM me on Facebook, or you have a comment on YouTube. I appreciate so much that you have taken an interest and listened and followed and been there through from the start when I wasn't so great at it, and I'm still learning. And I'm just very grateful that there are people out there interested in what I have to say, and I appreciate every single one of you. And so I hope that I'm just giving you, like I always say, a little seed to plant in your mind, something that can grow. That if you're out there and you need someone to listen, and you're having a hard time, and you don't want to maybe burden your family or your friends with your personal problems, or you just feel alone. If a lot of people are not alone, but you can be in a room full of people and with friends and family and still feel alone. And I know that because I've been there, and I've wanted to just give you that little seed to grow on, that you're not alone and you can ask for help. And there's an organization called NAMI, which is, I think, the National Association mental health something, mental incorporate, whatever. NAMI is a great place to start. And so you can contact NAMI, NAMI, just Google it. And they are very great at, helping you find therapists, or if you think you need a mental health medication, or if you're, even if you're going through something where there is physical abuse, mental abuse, if you're dealing with something like that, it's also a great organization to reach out to, because they're also affiliated with shelters. And if you're in a situation where you need to leave, and that's a safe place to go to. So I wanted to just get this out there today to give you a little bit of hope, because that's probably the biggest thing that a person needs to have when they're in a situation where they're feeling overwhelmed, or they need help immediately. And there's, all kinds of course, hotlines, and NAMI is a great place to start with those hotlines if somebody needs help right away. If you need help getting out of a situation where it's physical or it's abusive, then, I wanted to really just get this out there, because again, women can't help men or anyone. First of all, none of us are made of stone. No one, we're all human, and we all need a shoulder to lean on. And so I want to give you this little bit of hope that there's someone out there, and there's someone out there to listen and to help you. And again, thank you for tuning in and watching, listening, supporting, subscribing. You're all, every single one of you is appreciated. Thank you so much. and I'm gonna let you go tonight so you can have your dinner or go have your St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Thank you.